May brings new Pokemon raids and events to Pokemon Go, and by the end of this video you'll know everything the month has to offer and the best tips to help you make the most of it. So starting with the events for the month, first up we have the Growing Up event running from the 2nd until the 7th, featuring shiny boosted Pokemon and some very rare Pokemon. During this event, Mega Kangaskhan Raid Day will also be taking place on the 3rd between 2 PM and 5 PM local time, and being a raid day, Mega Kangaskhan raids will be appearing on all gyms, the shiny rate of Kangaskhan will increase to 1 in 10, you'll get 5 free raid passes and the remote raid limit will increase to 20. Following these events will be the Crown Clash event running from the 10th of May to the 18th, and this will feature the debut of King Gambit and Crown Nidoking and Nidoqueen. During this event on the 10th and the 11th will be Max Suicune weekend, and May Community Day will be on the 11th between 2 PM and 5 PM local time. And halfway through the Crown Clash event it will be taken over by Team Go Rocket, and this takeover will run from the 14th until the 18th. So for this you can expect Giovanni to have a new Shadow Pokemon. This will most likely be Shadow Dialga because we had Shadow Palkia last time, and generally these events have increased Rocket presence, new Shadow Pokemon lineups, and the opportunity to remove frustration from your Shadow Pokemon. This is one you definitely don't want to miss because we haven't had a takeover for a while. And during this takeover there will be a Shadow Raid Day on the 17th between 2 PM and 5 PM. Not sure what this will be at the time of this recording, but hopefully it's something like Shadow Mewtwo or Shadow Kyogre or Shadow Groudon. And whichever Pokemon it does happen to be, I do really hope they allow remote raids for this one like they did for Shadow Ho-Oh Raid Day back in January. The final Strike Go Battle Week will run from the 21st until the 27th. May Community Day Classic will be on the 24th between 2 PM and 5 PM local time. And lastly for the month, Gigantamax Machamp Max Battle Day will take place on May 25th between 2 PM and 5 PM local time. Now along with these events we do have Spotlight Hours that will be taking place each Tuesday at 6 PM. Firstly on the 6th will be Furfrou with 2 times Catch Candy. On the 13th will be Sandygas with 2 times Transfer Candy. And a good tip here is to remember that the seasonal bonus does give you a guaranteed XL candy per trade, so you can maximize this Spotlight Hour by mirror trading Pokemon with somebody first to get the XL candy from the seasonal bonus, and then transfer them to get double transfer candy during this hour. On the 20th will be Poochyena with 2 times Evolution XP. This one will be a great chance to evolve all those low candy cost evolutions or free candy evolutions that you've saved up over the month. Evolving these with a Lucky Egg will be a great chance to get a lot of XP. And finally for the month on the 27th we do have Golett with 2 times Catch Stardust. In research breakthroughs for the month that you do get for completing a field research task on 7 different days, you can encounter Alolan Marowak, Mawile, Druddigon, Jangmo-o, Charcadet or Frigibax. Alolan Marowak is a great encounter because it is ranked 58 in the Great League with 0, 14, 14 IVs. These IVs however aren't possible from research breakthrough encounters with the 10, 10, 10 IV floor, but you could always mirror trade with a low friendship level friend to try and reroll these IVs to get a better PvP IV spread. We also have the possibility of Jangmo-o from this, and its evolution Hakama-o is ranked 115 in the Great League with 0, 13, 15 IVs, and the final evolution Como-o is ranked 83 in the Ultra League with 0, 11, 14 IVs, and it's ranked 92 in the Master League. Again, the IV floor from research can be a little bit of an issue with Jangmo-o. And for Frigibax, its evolution Baxcalibur is the 6th best Ice type attacker with Ice Fang and Avalanche, and it's ranked 42 in the Master League, so generally a really good Pokemon to have. And alongside these new events and Spotlight Hours, we do also have new raids and max battles available. In 5-star raids, we will have Tapu Fini from the 1st to the 12th of May, and it will know Legacy move Nature's Madness, and it'll have a raid hour on the 7th. Following this will be the Lake Trio from the 12th until the 25th in their respective regions, and they will have raid hours on the 14th and the 21st. And last for the month, we have Tapu Bulu from the 26th of May up until the 3rd of June. It will know Legacy move Nature's Madness, and it will have a raid hour on the 28th. Worth noting that raid hours are actually more important this season because there is a seasonal bonus that will guarantee a Rare Candy XL for catching a 5-star raid boss during a raid hour. And if you didn't know, you can use Rare Candy XL to generate a Candy XL for any Pokemon of your choice, so this is a very valuable item. As well as this, the other seasonal bonuses, increased friendship bonus damage in raids, guaranteed XL candy from trades, and increased Stardust for your first catch of the day will all be continuing in May. In Mega Raids, we have Mega Houndoom from the 1st to the 12th, then we have Mega Gyarados from the 12th to the 25th, and lastly we have Mega Altaria from the 25th of May until the 3rd of June. In 5-star Shadow Raids will be Shadow Regirock on Saturdays and Sundays only from May 4th until June 4th. For the max battles, we have Max Charmander, Pidove, Cryogonal, Wooloo, and Phalanx from April 28th until the 5th of May. Then will be Max Bulbasaur, Machop, Beldum, and Grookey from the 5th of May to the 12th of May. Then it'll be Max Ghastly, Chansey, Drillbur, Darumaka, and Phalanx from the 12th to the 19th. Max Squirtle, Krabby, Beldum, and Sableye will be from the 19th until the 26th. And lastly for the month will be Max Ghastly, Pidove, Rookidee, and Phalanx from the 26th of May up until the 2nd of June. And as per the events, we do also have Max Suicune on the 10th and the 11th, and we have G-Max Machamp in 6-star max battles on the 25th between 2 PM and 5 PM local time. Max Mondays will also be returning in May, and these are essentially raid hours but for max battles that take place every Monday at 6 PM. On the 5th will be Max Grookey, on the 12th will be Max Ghastly, Sableye will be on the 19th, and Rookedy will be on the 26th. But how good are the raid Pokemon and which are most worth focusing on? Firstly, for 5-star raids we have Tapu Fini, and it is the 22nd best fairy type attacker with Water Gun and Nature's Madness, which is a legacy move that it will have when caught from these raids, and in the Ultra League it is ranked 43 with 113-15 IVs, and it's ranked 66 in the Master League. Unfortunately, the Lake Trio don't have any meta relevance, but if you need them for the decks or if you're shiny hunting them, then now is a good chance to get them. And remember, you can remote raid whichever ones that aren't available in your region. And if you don't want to raid these and you are looking for the wild versions, they are really rare, but the best way of trying to find them is putting your Pokedex alert on. And for Tapu Bulu, it is actually a pretty strong raid attacker. It's the 16th best grass type attacker with Bullet Seed and Grass Knot, and it's the 7th best fairy type attacker with Bullet Seed and legacy move Nature's Madness, which it will have when caught from these raids. And in the Master League, it's one of the best, being ranked 16. For the Mega Raids, Mega Houndoom will be available, and it's the 15th best fire type attacker with Fire Fang and Flamethrower, and it's the 4th best dark type attacker with Snarl and Foul Play. So if you don't have access to Mega Absol or Mega Tyranitar, then it is definitely a good one to get as a dark type attacker. However, even if you do have access to these, Mega Houndoom does provide the unique ability to boost attacks and candy gains for both dark and fire types at the same time, so it does have some niche use. And Mega Kangaskhan will be available on its raid day only, and whilst not specifically meta relevant, Kangaskhan is normally a regional Pokemon that is exclusive to Australia outside of Mega Kangaskhan raids. And with the boosted shiny rate of 1 in 10, this will be one of the best times to get this shiny, especially if you're outside of Australia. We then have Mega Gyarados in Mega Raids, and before I get into its meta relevance, it's worth raiding to get an instant encounter with Gyarados, especially if you are a newer player, because it does take 400 Magikarp candy to evolve Magikarp into Gyarados, which can take a while. However, Magikarp will actually be a common spawn during the growing up event, so worth keeping that in mind if you can't raid Gyarados. Although you will need to raid it to get Mega Energy if you want to Mega Evolve it for the first time. And Mega Gyarados is the 5th best water type attacker with Waterfall and Hydro Pump, and it's the 6th best dark type attacker with Bite and Crunch. And Gyarados itself is ranked 40 in the Master League, and whilst it does want legacy move Aqua Tail to be at its best, which will require an elite charge TM to get, but outside of that it is one of the most accessible higher ranked Pokemon in the Master League, where most tend to be legendary or mythical Pokemon. And Mega Altaria doesn't have any particular meta relevance, however it can boost fairy and dragon types at the same time, so it will be worth having for those events that feature both of these types. And for Shadow Regirock, it is ranked 50 in the Ultra League with 614-14 IVs, and it's ranked even higher at 42 in its non-Shadow form. And in the Master League, Shadow Regirock is ranked 103 and 87 in its non-Shadow form. And briefly for the max Pokemon, Max Charmander is worth picking up for candy for G-Max Charizard if you have it, because it is the best fire type attacker for max battles. And outside of max battles, Mega Charizard Y is the best fire type raid attacker. Max Bulbasaur could be worth picking up for candy for G-Max Venusaur as well, which is currently the best grass type attacker for max battles. And outside of max battles, Mega Venusaur is the 2nd best grass type attacker with Vine Whip and Frenzy Plant, and it's the 6th best poison type attacker with Vine Whip and Sludge Bomb. I would also go for Max Machop as well, so you can get more candy to power up G-Max Machamp when it comes to the game later on in the month, which will be the best fighting type attacker. Max Beldum is one of the best Pokemon for max battles at the moment, because it is the best steel type attacker for max battles with Bullet Punch. It's also a decent tank with its relatively high defense, and outside of max battles, Metagross is the 3rd best steel type attacker, and it's the 2nd best steel type and 10th best psychic type in its shadow form. Metagross does also have a mega coming at some point in the future, so worth keeping that in mind. I would also recommend going for Max Grookey, because Max Rillaboom is a good alternative to G-Max Venusaur as a grass type attacker, and G-Max Rillaboom will be the best when it comes to the game, so candy is always worth it for that. Max Ghastly is a good target because Max Gengar is the best ghost type attacker outside of G-Max Gengar, and it generally does do a lot of damage. And if you do have access to G-Max Gengar, it is one of the strongest attackers, even if it's just doing neutral damage, so worth getting candy for that. Max Chansey is also worth picking up because Max Blissey is a really strong general healer and tank, especially as it does have access to Pound. This one is definitely worthwhile investing in. Blissey is also a really good gym defender as well. We also have Max Drillbur available in May, and Max Excadrill is one of the best Pokemon for max battles at the moment. With its typing and access to 0.5 second animation fast attacks, make it a really strong tank, and its high HP stat mean it can be a great healer as well. It's also the best ground type for max battles currently, and it doesn't have a G-Max form, so it's a safe investment. Outside of max battles, it's also a strong raid attacker as a shadow, where it's the 6th best steel type attacker with Metal Claw and Iron Head, and it's the 8th best ground type with Mudslap and Scorching Sands. And even in its non-shadow form, it's not a bad budget attacker for both of these types. Max Darmanitan is a great target because it is the best fire type attacker for max battles outside of G-Max Charizard. Max Squirtle will be worth it for the candy for G-Max Blastoise, with it being a decent tank. But even if you don't have access to the G-Max form, Max Blastoise itself is a great tank, especially as it has access to Bite and Water Gun as fast attacks. And outside of max battles, Mega Blastoise is the 4th best water type attacker with Water Gun and Hydro Cannon. Max Krabby could also be an option for candy for G-Max Kingler if you have it, because it's the best water type attacker for max battles at the moment. And Max Rookidee will be a new one releasing this month, and Max Corviknight doesn't have a bad defense in HP, so it could be a decent tank or healer depending on the situation. But Corviknight outside of max battles is more relevant, where it is ranked 12 in the Great League with 0, 13, 14 IVs, and it's ranked 2nd best in the Ultra League with 0, 15, 15 IVs. And Max Suicune might actually be a skip, because although it does have high defense and HP, actually the best of the current water types available, it doesn't have access to a 0.5 second animation fast attack, so it might not be worth using instead of Max Blastoise as a tank. But either way, there are a lot of strong Pokemon to pick up in May. But if you do want to know what are the best Pokemon to power up in Pokemon Go for raid attacking, then I recommend checking out this video on the screen now, and I'll catch you in the next one.